slow them down just like that, that means that the dots are not going to be able to have master training for an extended amount of time. They're not going to be able to cyclone, and they're not going to be quite as effective. And you can also see Tempest is clearing out his expo just in case he wants to expand, now that he has a significant advantage, having just destroyed 2 buildings, not losing much. And let's see, creeping out the center on Lost Temple is kind of dangerous, but if you can pull it off, it's a very good thing to do, because those gnolls drop some pretty good items. But like I said, it's also very dangerous because not only are the creeps pretty good, it's very easy to get jacked when you're at the center of Lost Temple.
Yeah, but if you notice, he has a scout wisp at the top right, and so I mean at the top of the Lost Temple center. So I mean he's pretty safe there.
Yeah. So we can all agree that setting out wisps at various places around the map is a good way to keep tabs on your opponent. Alright, and you can see that Spirit Moon has rebuilt his Angels of the Wind. He's not going to try and change his strategy. He's just going to keep massing the dots. And as you can see there, Spirit Moon's level 3 ability on his Keeper was level 2 Treants, because summons are vitally important in this kind of strategy. Yep, okay, so now there's a battle at the fountain. Spirit Moon has really nice positioning here because a bunch of his units are in the fountain range. He also managed to get a Book of the Dead, which means that Tempest pretty much has to leave, otherwise he was completely screwed. Because orcs can't dispel anything unless they get like specialized buildings and extremely expensive training. You can also see that Tempest has expanded. It's kind of easy to expand against this strategy, just because Druids of the Talon archers aren't going to be able to take down an expo all that quickly. It's not like they're mass mortar teams. They don't do siege damage. They do magic and piercing, which won't do much to an expansion. It gives you a lot of time to get back there, should your expansion be attacked and you without a scroll of TP. So you can see Tempest unit choice is Raiders and Grunts at the moment. Raiders are a good investment versus Druids of the Talon because their siege damage does extra and their medium armor takes less. Although I found that if my opponent gets Raiders, they just become really good targets for Cyclones. And Raiders, as well as Spirit Walkers, are generally the things that I tend to Cyclone the first over say Grunts, which do less damage to my dots. So yeah, Raiders are a good choice because also if they're running away, obviously you can ensnare, and snare is a wonderful skill. And in addition to Hex, it is part of the Orc Nuke, which consists of stopping stuff and hitting it for a long time. But now that Moon's number of units has escalated to ridiculous levels, it's time for Moon to go out attacking. So he's going to go check for Tempest expansion. Also, how it works when Tempest was scouting the expansion before attacking Moon, it should work both ways. You should always try and look for expansions before you go to attack, especially on Lost Temple when expanding is so easy. And you see that Moon managed to catch Tempest creeping, which is generally known as a creepjack. And he's using Cyclone, but it's not going to do much because of the scroll of TP. So what are your thoughts on Cyclone here, Pancake?
Yeah, that was really nice. How he, cycloned up the Farseer so that he can chain lightning and stuff before the TP went off. But also that was really cool because Fairy Fire was still on. He had tabs on Tempest's army the whole time, but he decided to attack then because now, like you said, like Wicked said, then he just has a ridiculous amount of units right now, like a bunch of archers and a ton of Druid of the Talons. So yeah, that was really cool. And then he has the Summon Treants, which is a really good meat shield. Or not a really good, but a decent. Yep. See, like you said, up goes the Raiders and Heroes first.
Yeah, definitely important to get those. Let's see, not only the Farseer, but more importantly, if your opponent gets a Tauren Chieftain, it's very important to try and get him into the air as soon as possible, because that guy will completely decimate your army. Now you notice that Moon is using a strategy of once again counting on his opponent, Tempest, not being able to notice when his Demon Hunter is doing stuff outside of the normal army. You can see this Demon Hunter is taking down Demolishers, but not the rest of his units. The rest of his units are fighting a regular battle, but the Demon Hunter's just been A-clicked with Shift to take down Demolishers, which means that all the Demolishers have gone down, and Tempest probably didn't even notice until, you know, he clicks on Control Group 3 or whatever, and they're not there anymore. You also see that Tempest nearly loses his hero there, but Spirit Moon didn't have enough mana left over for a Entangle. So overall, the battle advantage goes to Spirit Moon because, well, Tempest lost pretty much all of his units. And from here on in, it starts to go pretty downhill for my good buddy Tempest, because Spirit Moon continues to mass ridiculous amounts of units. He has an expansion going on the bottom. Spirit Moon is notorious for being able to expand where you don't expect him to be expanding. And on a map like this, Lost Temple, unless you're fast expanding, you probably don't want to expand where at your natural, because, like as I said before, your opponents are always going to be checking at your natural prior to attacking your base. So if you can expand somewhere like Moon did at the bottom of the base, you're probably going to get away with it a lot more often than if, say, you had expanded at your natural.
One good thing to try out is actually skipping the creeps at the Goblin Merchant shop, walking all the way around them, going to the corner creep, and actually taking out the corner creep and expanding there. Most of the time, if they're going to check for an expansion, they look at the Goblin Merchant and they're like, oh, is that correct? And then they go check the expansion. Most of the time, if the Goblin Merchant isn't correct, they won't look at the corner. So it's actually a really good thing to go and try out sometime, is running to the corner first and expanding there and leaving the Goblin Merchant creeps there, because most of the time they won't expect the expansion there if you have if the Goblin Merchant creeps are still there.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea to me. Although I don't really see people expanding to the corners too much. Maybe it's because it's kind of hard to access, plus usually, although as Pancake just pointed out, you don't have to, usually you have to get through 2 creep camps to get there, and it might not be worth it if you're, you know, getting really, really far away from your base just to do that. And as you can see here, Cyclone being used. The best counter to Cyclone, of course, is a Scroll of Teleport. That's the only thing that's going to get your units out of Cyclone, barring a, you know, magical orc dispel unit like a Spirit Walker or something. You also see that the Demon Hunter has gotten an Orb of Venom. I don't know why he's bothering. Maybe it's because he thinks that Tempest is going to try and get air out of his bestiaries rather than raiders and start focus firing the dots. It's really easy to counter air if you have mass dots. After all, part of them is anti-air. So, using Hex on the Demon Hunter at the beginning of the battle is just like using Cyclone on the Farseer and other heroes for the Night Elf. Basically, you want to take them out of commission before they can do any damage. Again, you see the Demon Hunter doing the shift attack click thing on the Demolishers, which is taking them out in very short form. In a very short amount of time. The Demon Hunter can do a whole bunch of damage to 425 HP Demolishers. You notice that Spirit Moon has added a Priestess of the Moon for a third hero. The game doesn't last long enough for it to be all that effective, but a POTM can be a very good third hero in this non-tavern map Moon strategy strat, because it adds a lot of damage to your Druids of the Talon. You see, just mass Cyclone is completely destroying Tempest's chances of winning this game. There's really no way he could have pulled this off unless he'd gotten a lot more Demolishers and somehow not gotten his Raider Cyclone. But Spirit Moon played this one really well. He knows how to play the Moon strategy because, you know, he's Moon. And I hope that you guys have gotten some of the points that we've covered in this game. Pancake, do you have anything to say in the last part?
Yeah, I liked how when, I mean, of course, you have to have pretty insane micro, but when the big battle that was just fought a little while ago, how Moon was dodging using, you know, the control group of just the Druid of the Talons and running them back and forth to make all of the catapults miss. So, yeah, just dodging all of the splash damage and making it so all of his dots live.
Yeah, and another move I've seen that probably isn't practical for most of our users out here, but if anyone wants to try this rather advanced thing, I've seen people go and Cyclone their units, and then prior to the Demolishers completely owning their army, what they'll do is they'll turn on Crow form, fly up, and then fly to right on top of the Demolishers, and then uncrow form, and then focus fire them, and they go down really slow because of the heavy armor. Or they go down really fast, excuse me.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. That'd be cool to see in the replay.
Yeah, definitely. So if any of you guys do that, feel free to send the replay to us, and yeah, maybe we'll either do an audio on it or just look at it and laugh because we did something that somebody else listened to, as hard as it is to imagine. Well, I hope me and Pancake have provided you with a little bit of strategy for your otherwise microless lives, and if barring Pancake saying anything else, I'm done. Do you have any last words on this audio, Pancake?
Not really. It was fun. Yeah, thanks, Wicked, for letting me join in and have fun. It was good times.
Alright, so this is Wicked with good buddy Pancake Abuse, signing off.